Hey guys, I am going to read this book called Vampire Kisses. It is an amazing book. This is my second time reading it. I loved reading it the first time. I really liked it. I am currently looking for the entire book series. It's from Vampire Kisses 1 through 9. I found them on Wattpad, but I at least like to have it originally in my hand. Sometimes the stories on Wattpad get deleted. I know that because the story I was reading got deleted before I even finished it. So, yeah, I'm going to read this. Alright. Chapter 1. Little Monster. It first happened when I was 5. I just finished coloring my kindergarten book. It was filled with Picasso-like drawings of my mom and dad, and Elmer's glued tissue paper collage, and the answer to questions: favorite color, pets, best friend, etc., written down by a 100-year-old teacher, Miss Prevish. My classmates and I were sitting in the sorry, I don't have my glasses, in a semicircle on the floor in the reading area. Bradley, what do you want to be when you grow up? Mrs. Prevish asked after all the other questions had been answered. A firefighter, he shouted. Candy? A nurse, Candy Warner whispered meekly. Miss Prevish went through the rest of the class. Police officer, astronaut, football player. Finally, it was my turn. Raven, what do you want to be when you grow up? Miss Prevish asked, her green eyes staring through me. I said nothing. An actress? I shook my head. A doctor? Nuh-uh, I answered. I said. A firefighter? Yuck, I replied. Then what? She asked, annoyed. I thought for a moment. I want to be a vampire. I like this kid's style. I shouted to the shock and amazement of Mrs. Peters and my classmates. For a moment, I thought she started to laugh. Maybe she really did. The children sitting next to me inched away. My elementary's life. I spent most of my childhood watching others inch away. I was convinced on my dad's watered bed or on the rooftop of my mom's college dorm under twinkling stars, depending on which one of my parents is telling the story. They were soulmates that couldn't part with the 70s. 70s true love mixed with drugs, some raspberry incense, and the music of the Grateful Dead. A beaded jewelry halter-topped, cut-off blue jeans, barefoot girl, intertwined with a long-haired, unshaved, inner-John, spectacled, suntanned, lettered vest, belly button, and sandaled guy. That's a lot of detail on one dude. I think they're lucky. I wasn't more ecstatic. I could have wanted to be a beaded hair hippie werewolf. But somehow I became obsessed with vampires. Sarah and Paul Manson became more responsible after my entrance into this world. Or, I'll rephrase it and say my parents were less glassy-eyed. They sold the Volkswagen Flower Power van that they were living in and exactly started renting property. Our hippie apartment was decorated in 3D glow-in-the-dark flower posters. And orange tubes with a Play-Doh substance. You know what that is, lava lamp. That moved on its own. Lava lamps that you could stare at forever. I actually have a lava lamp. I had a lava lamp. The lights went out. So, no, I don't have it. Sorry for my terrible reading. I have no glasses on. And sorry for the noise in the background. Those are my cousins. So you just feel like... I was watching TV. So I'm going to leave that there. And I lost feeling in my leg for a second. It was the best time ever. The three of us laughed and played tootsies and ladders and squeezed Twinkies between our teeth. We stayed up watching Dracula movies, Dark Shadow. With the infamous Baron Bus Collins and Batman on the black and white TV. Oh, Batman. I love Batman movie, Matt. Well, if you've not noticed, this is my headboard, and that's what's on top of my head. Bed. I'm sitting on my bed, and my TV's that way. So, yeah. That's a picture my friend drew. It's a cat. Really? I hate it when people write on books. So abusive to these books. We received when we opened a bank account. I feel secured under the blanket of midnight, rubbing Mom's growing belly, which made noises like the orange lava lamps. I figured that she was going to give birth to more moving Play-Doh. Everything changed when she gave birth to the Play-Doh. Only it wasn't Play-Doh. She gave birth to Nerd Boy. How could she? How could she destroy all the Twinkie nights? Now she went to bed early, and that creation that my parents called Billy cried and fussed all night. I was suddenly alone. It was Dracula on the TV, the Dracula on the TV, that kept me company while Mom slept. Nerd Boy wailed, and Dad changed smelly diapers in the darkness. And if it wasn't bad enough, suddenly they sent me to a place that wasn't my apartment, that didn't have wild 3D flower posters on the walls, but boring collages of kids' handprints. Who decorates around here, I wondered. It was overcrowded with Scree's Catalan girls with flurry dresses and Sears Catalan boys in trumpet pants and perfectly combed hair. Mom and Dad called it kindergarten, also known as school, also known as hell. I call it hell. They'll be your friends, my mom assured me as I clinged to her side for dear life. She waved goodbye and blew me a kiss. I stood alone beside the mental Miss Purish, which was also as one can get. As alone as one can get. I watched my mom walk away with Nerd Boy on her hip as she took him back to the place filled with glow-in-the-dark posters, monster movies, and Twinkies. Damn it, I want a Twinkie now. I haven't had those in years. I haven't eaten years. However, I made it through the day, cutting and gluing black paper on black paper, finger painting Barbie lips black, and telling the assistant teacher ghost stories while the shrieking Catalan kids ran around like they were all cousins and all at an all-American family picnic. It was even happy to see Nerd Boy when Mom finally came to pick me up. That night she found me with my lips pressed against the TV screen trying to kiss Christopher Lear in horror of Dracula. Raven! What are you doing up so late? You have school tomorrow. What? I said. The hostess cherry pie that I had been eating fell on the floor and my heart fell with it. But I thought that was just the one thing. I said, panic. Sweet Raven, you have to go every day. Every day? The word echoed inside my head. It was a life sentence. That night, Nerd Boy couldn't hope to compete with my dramatic wailing and crying. As I lay alone in bed, I prayed for eternal darkness and a sun that never rose. Unfortunately, the next day I woke to a blinding light and a monster headache. Hangover. I longed to be around at least one person that I could connect with, but I couldn't find anyone at home or school. Floor lamps, the glow-in-the-dark posters were... What were I go? Oh. At home, the lava lamps were replaced with Teffer-style floor lamps. The glow-in-the-dark posters were covered with Laura Ashley wallpapers, and our grainy black and white TV was upgraded to a 25-inch colored model. At school, instead of singing the song of Mary Poppins, I whistled the theme to The Exorcist. Cool. Halfway through kindergarten, I tried to become a vampire. Trevor Mitchers, a perfectly combed blonde with weak blue eyes, was my nemesis from the moment I stared him down when he tried to cut in front of me on the slide. He hated me because I was the only kid who wasn't afraid of him. The kids and teachers kissed up to him because his father owned most of the land their home sat on. Trevor was in a biting phase, not because he wanted to be a vampire like me, just because he was mean. He had taken pieces of flesh out of everyone but me, and I was starting to get ticked off. We were on the playground standing with the basketball hoop when I pinched the skin of his punny little arm so hard I thought blood would squirt out. His face turned beet red. I stood motionless and waited. Trevor's body trembled with anger. His eyes swelled with vengeance as I mischievously smiled back. Then he left his detailed expression in my expended hands. Miss Shreiber was forced to sit him against the school wall. I happily danced around the playground waiting to transform into a vampire bat. "That raven is an odd one," I overheard Miss Furish saying to another teacher as I skipped past the crying Trevor, who was now throwing a fit against the hard blacktop. I blew him a grateful kiss with my bitten hand. I wore my wound proudly as I got on the school swing. I could fly now, right? But I need something to take me to rap speed. The seat went as high as the top of the fence, but I was aiming for the puffy clouds. The rusty swing started to buckle when I jumped off. I planned to fly across the playground all the way to startle Trevor. Instead, I plummeted to the muddy earth, doing further damage to my tooth-marked hand. I cried more from the fact that I didn't possess supernatural powers like my heroes on TV than because of my throbbing flesh. With my bite strapped under ice, Miss Parrish sat me against the wall, while the spoiled snot-nosed Trevor was now free to play. He blew me a teasing kiss and said, "Thank you." I stuck out my tongue and called him a name I heard a mobster say to the Godfather. Miss Porter immediately sent me inside. I was sent inside a lot during my childhood recesses. I denied it. Destined to take a recess from recess. That's the end of chapter 1. I'll do chapter 2 tomorrow. I need my glasses.